as I said in yesterday's stream, if you're watching back, this is a live stream, so I will be chatting with people. If you want to see where the chat is, hopefully after this is uploaded, you'll be able to chat on the live chat icon and follow along if you wish to. Hi Brandy, hi Kat, thank you for joining again, I really appreciate it. And also for those of you watching back, I have put the link to the book that I will be working in today in the live chat for you. And also I have put the link to a video which I'm going to be referencing as well. Hi Maria, hi Katrina. No worries, Brandy, I've only just started, so no worries at all. Hi Michelle, thank you so much for joining me again tonight. Really appreciate it. So yes, I have put those links in for you if you wish to see them, and if I remember, I will try and put them in the description as well. But this was a whip from a long time ago, and I just decided to come back to it because I want to just see what I can do and work in it again. Hi Maria. Right, let me just check I've got the right chat up. Yeah. Your boy Blaze there is my brother Tom. Hi Tom. If you haven't seen videos where he has appeared, he will be chatting. Hi Anne. So I'm just going to talk through with you what I'm going to be using. I've got quite a few different tools that I use for this book because it is quite complicated, because it's very detailed. If you haven't seen this book before, it's basically a book with Thomas Kinkade's Disney artwork on the left side, and then you get all of the pictures in line art form on the right hand side. And I have had a whip in here for the longest time. I think I started it last year back in May or June, and I finally decided to come back to it. I was working on these flowers yesterday, so I'm going to continue working on them and see how far I can get with trying to do a bit more of this area. But what I wanted to just show you is a bit about my process for choosing the colours using my swatches here, which I followed along using the video that I've put the link in for you. And that's kind of how I go about choosing the colours and trying to match them up and see what goes with what. And then also my process for whiting out the black lines, which I do have a video of, which seems to be quite popular actually. I will try and put a link for that as well if I can, but I'll just talk about the white Pit pens that I use. You can use white ink, which is what I shared in the video. But since that, I really like the white Pit pens. And then, yeah, we'll get on to finishing these flowers, hopefully, and moving on to a bit more of the picture. But you won't believe how long it takes to do just a tiny bit. It is so detailed, and that's the reason why I kind of wasn't motivated to work in it for a bit. So, yeah, really excited for this. Sorry, I'm just catching up on chat here. Yes, I do too, Brandy. It's absolutely gorgeous. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Stephanie. Yeah, it is really overwhelming. I do find it really detailed, which is why I decided to pick this picture as my first one, because it didn't seem too overwhelming. Hi, Rachel. No worries at all. There were a few issues with my phone yesterday anyway, but I do have it charged, so it should be all right. Don't think I've missed anyone. Oh, hi Sue, lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining. So I'm not sure if any of you are interested in knowing what colours I'm using, but I'm using Prismacolors and Holbeins for this. And yeah, I'm going to zoom in for you and work on these flowers. I'm just going to outline this flower here, and I do have 3 sizes of Pit pen. My favourite is the brush tip, purely because it gives a really smooth lay down. Not sure if you can see that. And it applies the best. but it's not the most opaque out of all of them. These bullet tips are definitely better in terms of opacity, so I do like using these ones as well. And they are 2 different sizes. There's the 1.5 and the 2.5, I think. And you can get a calligraphy one, but I didn't really think that was necessary for me because I wouldn't really use a calligraphy pen. Yeah, Michelle, I had it, I think, probably for a couple of months even before I started to colour in it, because I was really intimidated. Thank you, Cassie. Yeah, Tom, I'm trying to follow from this. The only thing though with this is that some of the lines are a tiny bit inconsistent, because obviously it's not going to completely, you know, correlate very well from an oil painting to the line art. So there are a couple of bits on the flowers that don't quite match up, but that doesn't really matter. So I'm going to zoom in for you and just finish outlining this flower. And I do it by layer, so it does take quite a few layers to get the desired effect. So for me, this is done. So all of these flowers here that look a bit grey, that's as far as I take it in terms of the layering, because I find otherwise I would literally be there forever. And this is what the line art looks like without the whiting out. So it does look quite different. No worries, Anne. Thank you, Katrina. Brandy, calligraphy pen. So what I mean by that is it's kind of like a highlighter nib. So it's got that flat edge to it. So it's not like this brush pen, which you could use for calligraphy. It's yeah, it's more like a highlighter pen, but I think they just call it a calligraphy pen for some reason. So I usually just switch between the brush tip and the bullet tip, because sometimes if I want it to layer a certain way, then I just switch between them. I also did just use a ruler to put lines as a border for this picture because there weren't any, and I just thought I'd put it in because hopefully we'll get around to finishing up these flowers and maybe do some of the area around it, but it does take a while. Each of these flowers took me at least 10 minutes or so, but I was just trying to find my feet in terms of what colours I wanted to use, so that probably did make it a bit longer of a process. So that's one layer, and you probably can't tell really that it's made any difference, so I do just like to switch between them and see how much I can black out these lines. If you've seen, I have the Inspired by Nature book by Marjolaine Bastin, and the lines in that are a lot lighter, so when I get around to colouring in that book, I don't think I will need to white out the lines at all really, which will be brilliant. It is a shame. That's the only thing with this book. I do wish that the lines were already lighter for you, so that if you want to try and colour it realistically, you can do. Thank you, Kat. It was quite difficult actually. I had to use some Posca to do the yellow sections here, and yeah, it was really fun doing that, but it was quite difficult because at first I didn't really know how I was going to do it, but then I remembered I had it. So I think I'll probably just need to do another layer or so on this flower. So I'm going to leave that to dry for now and we'll get started. Now the only other flower I can do at the moment with the colours I've already picked out is this bit here. Reason being is that these flowers all have extra bits in them, so I'll need to pick out a few more colours because there's a red bit here, so I'll need to pick out a colour for that, which I'll show you my process, and then there's also a pink here, which I think will hopefully be quite easy to find. Thanks, Tom. So yeah, I'm just going to get started on this. Now I do find that sometimes if you layer and layer too much with the Pit Pen, there is sometimes a bit of resistance with the pencil, so I never burnish with the pencils over the Pit Pen, because otherwise it doesn't work that well. But I think it should be all right. I'm using Prismacolors for this, but I may bring in some Holbeins for other areas if I need to. So I think I'm not necessarily going to need all of these colours. So I will just go with what I think I'll need. And with this, I just try to follow along as closely as I can, but you know, I'm not an expert with this because it is very new and different. So I'm going to try and leave this in frame for you so you can kind of hopefully see. There are little bits of black which kind of stay in the image. So that's what I'm trying to do, but it is very difficult. So bear with me if I go silent, you know, in sections. That's just because I'm trying to concentrate, and it is quite detailed. But I wanted to try and start off with this picture because it's not quite as intimidating, which is good. I think so. For any of you who are interested, I'm using black grape, probably not the black raspberry actually, dahlia purple, processed red, and then if I need to bring in a more pinkish tone, I've got the pomegranate as well. So it's a really nice colour palette actually for the flower, and I would never usually do bright flowers like this. It's really nice getting the opportunity to do them. So as you can see, I'm colouring with the black grape over the line which I've whited out, and it does actually work. If they're lighter colours, it's a little bit harder because obviously the lines that I've whited out are still somewhat grey, so you may have a little more trouble with those. So I'm just trying to eye it and see what, you know, kind of following along with what it looks like and trying to replicate it as best I can. It's never going to look the same. Hi Minerva. You lurk away, don't you worry. So I honestly can't believe how amazing the oil paintings are, and the fact that Thomas Kinkade has managed to get the detail with the paint. I mean, it's hard enough with colour pencil, but the paint is just a whole new thing. So really with this dahlia purple which I'm using now, I'm just trying to add more purple to what I've already put, so I didn't really add much to the flower. So this processed red is going over the grey or the whited out line, not quite as well as the black grape, but it's to be expected and I don't mind that. So if there are any highlights on the part that I'm colouring, such as the yellow, I always tend to put that down first, but for this there wasn't really any highlights. So with this style of colouring, I tend to just go straight in and map out where all of the detail bits are. So I tend to go from dark to light. So I think pretty much there with this. I might use my blender pencil to just smooth everything out, but this is a little bit more pink down at the bottom compared to the others. I know, Tom, I can't believe it. I really do appreciate it. I think streaming, because it's live, you know, I never really expect anyone to join because, you know, we all have our own things to be getting on with. And especially since I don't really have a set time where I stream either, it really does mean a lot. So what I just try to avoid with the blender pencil is going too close to the Pit Pen, because I don't want any of the colour to come off. So yeah, that's done for me, I think. I'm just going to show you my process of picking colours out now, because I do need to get a few more colours. As I said, I'll probably try and stick to Prismacolors as much as I can. Thank you, Kat. So I'm just going to zoom out a tad for you, because I want to be able to properly show what I'm doing. So I'm going to be picking a red for this. Now, I have put the link for this in the chat for you. This is my favourite way of swatches now, especially for this style of colouring when you need to match colours, because you can just put the circle right up to the illustration and then see what matches. And also it's just a really compact thing, you know, you could chuck this in your handbag or even probably in a pencil case and just keep it with you. And I just absolutely love it. I do have a video on this, and it is inspired by Black Fine Art. So yeah, go over to her video and she explains it really well. So I have all of my Prismacolors in here up to here, and then all of my Holbeins in here as well. So I'm just going to be sticking to the Prismacolor side. So I think I'll only need one of the red colours, because I do have other colours which I can blend. So there are a couple of choices I could go for. The Scarlet Lake is probably the closest. The Poppy Red is also quite good, so I might actually pull both of those out, just because it then gives me a little bit more room for adding more detail if I want to. So that's the Scarlet Lake and the Poppy Red. There we go. And then I'm going to need another pink of some sort for down here, because there is an added pink, and also maybe a brown, because for the middle, I'm not sure if you can see it, it's quite zoomed out, but yeah, in this middle there's a bit of stippling that's been done, although I could use the black raspberry that I've already got. I might use that actually. There is also a bit of blue, so I'm just going to grab a blue for that, and I'm talking like tiny bits of blue. It's a ridiculously small amount, but I'd like to try and get the highlight in for it. Tom, I've already done it. It's right at the top. I might be able to pin it actually. Let me pin the message, and that way it should stay, hopefully. So yeah, I'm probably going to get Caribbean Sea for that, because that's quite a dark blue. Where are we? Yep. And then, yes, a pink, didn't I? So we needed one of those. I think I already know which one I'm going to go for. Probably the Deco Pink. Actually, that's not quite dark enough. Quite an odd one, this one. I'm thinking it's a mix between Clay Rose with a bit of Deco Pink. So I'll go for that. Oh, Tom, did you mean linking my video? Because I've done one as well. But as I said, I'll try and put that in after the stream for you. But I have done a video also with the swatches, but as I said in that video, it was inspired by Black Fine Art, so it's not my own creation. So I'm just going to sharpen these, and we'll probably do the red one first, because it's the next one next to the ones I've already coloured. Oh, this one's deciding to break on me. I do have a bit of trouble with this Clay Rose one though. It's a little bit irritating. There's only a couple of pencils that I usually get with them not really sharpening that well. Usually they're all right. Let's see if that's made a difference. If not, I'll just have to stick with the Deco Pink, and that should be fine. No, let me try sharpening it on a different level. I've really wanted to try the what's it called? The Dahl 133. I saw Pamela's Passion for Pencils using it, and everyone raves about it, and I think it's hand crank sharpness. You sharpen it yourself, but it kind of resembles a electric sharpener in the sense that you would keep it on your table probably, but it does look great. I do really like these Tagore ones. Thanks, Tom. Tom's quite good at technological stuff, so let's leave that to him. There we go. Okay, so yes, I'm going to start this red one. So I'll zoom in again for you. Zooming is very odd on live streams because I have to do it directly on the screen, whereas for normal videos it's a bit different. Yes, I'm with you there, Michelle. I think I read somewhere that the electric blue was originally one of the neon colours, which is why it has a weird waxy core to it. I think in the old set it was traditionally with the other neon colours. I could be wrong. And the China blue, yeah, again, it's quite waxy. It feels like there's more wax than oil in the ratio. I had the 132 set and then I added the colours that I wanted, and I never bothered getting the neons because I knew I wouldn't use them. Okay, so again, because there's lots of black in this centre, I'm just going to put this down first because it makes it a whole lot easier just mapping out this darker shadow. It's really interesting actually trying to follow along with something, because I know it's not a tutorial because I'm just looking at a picture, but it really does improve your colouring skills because you notice things that you wouldn't usually think to include. I never really shade with black that much, but I think I should more because this actually gives a really nice effect. It's just that extra bit of shadow. So there's also black on the edges as well, so do that. Yeah, Michelle, it's just something to do with how they've been manufactured, I think. Unless you could get hold of maybe some from the old sets. But they are very expensive and I don't know if that would make a difference. So yeah, even when I'm looking at this now, there are some inconsistencies with the line art, which just makes it a little bit more difficult to just plan where I want the colour to be, but that's all right. I'm going to do the centre now. So once I've done this flower, I might move on to trying to pick some other colours for this background, because I know it can get a bit repetitive doing the same thing, both for me colouring it and for those of you watching. So I'll try and mix it up a bit and then come back to the flowers if I want to later. Because there is a stippling effect for this centre, I might come back in with the yellow Posca. So I don't think I'll be able to get that effect that I want just with the pencils. There are some pages in this book that will just be impossible for me to be able to get the painterly look with colour pencils, so I'll just have to try and do my best and see if I can do something else to try and fix it. These Poscas are amazing. I love them. This is the Sunshine Yellow, and these I think are the thinnest point you can get. Is it the 1M? 0.7 millimeters, and just gives a really nice point. Okay, so this does have more pink in it, as I said, so I'm just going to have to be a bit more wary of leaving more areas free for me to add some more of the pink in. And I think what I'll do is try and add my own shadows in where these petals are, because on the painting there isn't really a shadow for the petal there. It kind of looks like it's just one big petal, which doesn't match with what I have got on here. So I'll just play around with that a bit. So how is everyone? Middle of the week. I've only got the rest of this week off, and then I am back to school. But it's been a really good holiday actually. We've had a 2.5 week break, which is a bit longer than we'd usually get. I hope you're all having great evenings for those of you in the UK, and then I know for those of you in other parts of the world it's maybe a bit earlier or later. Right, I think I'm happy with that. This is a very slow process in comparison to other colouring, so don't expect to see too much progress in my completed pages, because I'm not really sure how much I'll be able to get to. Oh, so there are some really nice accents of like little dots of pink on this, so I can go back with one of the Poscas again on that. And the paper also is really good, because I don't have to do that much layering, and it still gives a nice effect. I'm not sure, Tom. I'm not sure, because the thing is with this page, it takes so long anyway to just choose the colours and outline it and then actually colour it. I don't really time myself ever with pictures, because I just know that the amount of time is ridiculous. But I really enjoy it. And the thing is though, with these pictures, I'd never just do this picture. I'd always have other pictures on the go, so not really sure. Oh, sorry if you heard that. Just had a notification. So this magenta is actually going well over the grey, so that's good. Doesn't really bother me if the lines aren't completely covered, but it's nice to try and imitate the realistic look as best I can. So if some of you are colouring along, what are you working on at the moment? I know for some of you, you just like to work on one page at a time. Some of you have got lots of whips like me. I always have loads. I think actually I don't have that many. Not too many at the moment. But that's because I've had more time to colour, which I'm really grateful for. But yeah, usually I wouldn't have been able to complete as many as I have done. they, Kat? I don't think I've had that issue, but I find they run down really quickly. When I use them, I used one for a background ages ago and it ate up nearly the whole pencil. Hi Jamie, lovely to have you join us. Thank you. First time watching a live stream or a video in general? Welcome. Yeah, so do I, Anne. I've been trying to cut down on the amount that I have, but sometimes because I like so many different styles, I just like to have choice, and then I start things and never come back to them. And yeah, I've really been trying to knock that on the head. Right, I'm gonna go with my pink. Hi Kim. Not much really. We saw family when we were allowed to, when restrictions were lifted here in the UK. And I've been doing a little bit of revision for my mocks. I'm not sure if I mentioned this yesterday, but lots of the content in our mocks are the same as the ones we've just done. So in terms of new content, there isn't actually that much for me to revise, which is brilliant. So I have 3 weeks at school before I then have my next set of mocks. So it does mean that, you know, I do have that time at school with my teachers going through stuff. So they've been telling us to have a break over the Easter holidays. So I met up with a friend today, which was lovely. But yeah, not much. It's been really quiet, which is good. Yes, Rachel, I've got quite a few coming up as well. Hi, it's got to be 17. Oh, wow, Jamie, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, well, Rachel, the exams now are all marked, moderated, and all of our grades are given by our teachers now. So there's none of the exams are being sent off to the exam board for them to, or exam people to mark because of COVID. So in that way, we're fortunate because the teachers, well, I guess, because the thing is, the grades aren't just based on the one paper. The grade, our final grade, is based on lots of things. So they're taking into account not just the proper exams that we do, which are technically still mocks, they're counting classwork, coursework, that sort of thing. So it just means that not everything is riding on one exam, because for some people exams are really stressful, and especially since we haven't done any proper exams since, well, year 9, which was coming up to 2 years ago. We haven't sat in a sports hall until then. It was really weird going into the exam hall and doing them again. So yeah, it's good that there's not quite as much pressure. Well, I mean, there is, because there are GCSEs, but you know, it's not just all about the day of the exam. Right, so I think I'm pretty much done with that. For some reason, I don't seem to have blended it exactly the same as I did before, but maybe that's just me. Just playing catch up on the chat. I know, Tom. Oh, you're welcome, Jamie. Well, thank you for joining. Yes, Michelle, I don't have the tracing ones, but that is a real bonus with those books. They are gorgeous. My favourite book of Aries is probably her fairy tale one, and the lines, I just love the fact that they're more greyed out. Right, so I'm going to add some more details with the Poscas. Let me zoom out for you. I have this 8-pack and they're all pastel colours, which is definitely me. And I think the blue and pink will suit for what I want to use them for. Hi, is it Patries? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, that's really interesting, Rachel. Yeah, definitely. I hope there is an improvement. Oh, Katrina, you're working Worlds of Wonder. I did the nameplate in that book. I love it. My all-time favourite, as I've said, is probably still Ivy, but it's a close second. Right, let me zoom in again. Yeah, so I think after this flower, I will pick some more colours because I don't want to bore any of you colouring the same thing. I may come back to this at the end, but the only thing I'm a little bit worried about is this going all dark because of the fact that there's magenta and stuff in them, so I'm not sure. Well, for those of you that don't know, especially the magenta Prismacolor, it can sometimes affect white gel pen and things like that when you're using them. I think this is probably going to be a bit too dark actually. I know, maybe not. Yeah, so I think I'm going to leave that as it is for now. I hope you feel better soon. Right, I'm going to pick some colours, I think, for this area down here. I want to start working on the background bit of the stonework. We can get some more variation of colour, because at the moment I've only really used browns and yellows and now these purples, which is great. So I'm going to put these all to the side and make sure that I don't forget. I will put them in a rubber band. To try and keep my desk as tidy as possible, I have this box which I got from a shop called Flying Tiger, which is a Danish shop, I think. If I zoomed out all the way. Oh, sorry about that. And it was £1 or something like that. And I just put my pencils that I'm using currently in here, and I just put it to the side of my desk, and it just means that they're out of the way and it's just not as hectic on my desk, because I usually have a lot of whips, so it's good to just keep them safe and tidied. Oh, that's interesting, Rachel. Yeah, I think they do differ quite a lot. I think definitely for A-level and GCSE, the changes that have happened are quite similar. But as you say, I think it is different for uni students. Right, let's get some colours picked out. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but there are some fuzzy kind of leaves in here. So I want to try and pick some greens out that are going to be able to replicate that. I will need to white out the line here for the stone. So I think I want to try and get as much variation as possible, but I'm going to see what I can do firstly in terms of the colours from my Prismacolors. I may have to jump to the Holbeins a bit. None of these are really matching. I could always mix, but it would be a lot easier if I didn't have to. I haven't yet, Sue. I'm not sure when we're going, actually. We've been going to other places. Well, we've only been to one place so far. So I hope we get to go there at some point. Yeah, none of these are really exactly what I'm looking for. Actually, these colours are quite good here. So I will probably get all 4 of those. Jade green, celadon, muted turquoise and slate grey. They're a really good mix, these colours. And then yes, I think I'm going to have to firstly look at these browns and things and see if I can use any of them, but most likely I will get the Holbeins out. The sepia is quite a good match for some of these darker areas, and I might, well, I can keep the black, but I think I will probably just stick to these 90% cool greys and things like that because they're all pretty dark. We might be all right, actually. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. Okay, Tom, no worries. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it has, Michelle. I kind of just discount 2020. I was talking to my friend today actually about going on holiday and stuff, and I forget that we actually haven't been on holiday abroad or anywhere since 2019, and I still can't believe it will have nearly been 2 years because 2020 went so quickly. It feels like it will have only been 1. Bear with me a minute. I just need to switch off the washing machine. It's beeping in the background. My mum's done it. Right. So, yeah, where was I? I need to get some of those darker colours, don't I? Let's see. We had the sepia. Oh, espresso might be quite a good one. Hang on a moment. Oh no, that's a bit too brown. Yeah, sepia. The 90% cool grey. Might be nice to get some warm grey or French grey in, but that'll be good for the French grey bits. Yeah, warm grey and French grey. Oh, sorry. Show the camera. Yeah, gosh, Michelle. Bet it will have been. How have you been holding up? Hope it's been all right. Right, let's get started on this then. So I'm just going to work bit by bit because otherwise it will be too overwhelming. I'll start over here. Do need to sharpen my pencils. Oh, Michelle, well, thank you for doing all that you're doing. It's amazing. Lately, I've been really liking sharpening my Prismacolors on number 4 on my Cigar sharpener. But usually I would do them on 1. But I find that having them like this is just, I don't know, for some reason it's more of a pleasant colouring experience. I like the longer point on them. And this isn't even as long as some are, but it's still pretty long. Gosh, I can't believe how many colours I'm using for the tiniest bit. a lot of thought. You do have to really think about colours with this sort of thing if you're trying to go for the realistic look. Right, so that's that. Firstly, I need to white out the line again. But I should be able to go in, you know, pretty much straight away. It dries really quickly. And also, with it being ink, it just seeps into the paper. So you don't get any kind of bobbly texture like you would with... sorry, I've literally forgotten what I was going to say. Like Posca's. So it does literally just seep in. And once I've done this line, I mean, this is pretty much already dry, which is amazing. It really does, Michelle. I think that's one thing that I think hits beginners, because some people who start colouring then don't really feel like carrying on if their pencils aren't really behaving like they would want them to. And sharpening really does have a big impact in how pencils work. Definitely, I'm with you there. Right, I think that's probably enough layers, because the thing is, I'm going to be going in with dark colours anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. And I mean, some of them can get quite expensive, but they're worth it, because, well, especially if you get ones that are going to last quite a long time. It's brilliant. Yeah, so that's dry now. This is quite a hard section to do, only because the colours all merge into each other, and they're really dark, so it's quite hard to tell the difference between all of them. I'm going to try my best. It's a Faber-Castell Pit Pen. So as I was showing at the beginning, let me zoom out, I've got 3 different sizes, and I was using the brush and the 1.5. So I have the brush tip here, which is like a Tombow marker. Just got it on my finger like that. And then the bullet tip, which is kind of like a felt tip pen. And then there's a bigger bullet tip as well, which is a 2.5. They're excellent. It's just liquid ink in a pen. So yeah, they're really good. Right, so I think with this, I'm just going to try and put in a base of any lighter colours that I can see. It's very hard trying to figure out what's what, because I do want to try and get a little bit of distinction between sections, but I think it's going to be quite difficult. I'm just going to put that colour there to show that that needs to stay light, otherwise I'll just accidentally colour over it. And then lots of this section, at least up at the top, is quite brown-like. It's feeling quite scratchy, this one, on top of the Pit Pen. As I said, that's normal. So I'm just trying to go with it. Oh, Michelle, I don't know. I do like the Tagal. I think that's the one that I use the most, and I do really like it. I did just have to buy this new one that I've got recently because they do dull very quickly. I would say that any other, I mean, even cheap pencil sharpeners are good, because I like just having a long point on harder pencils. Right, so I think that's pretty much all of the brown area sorted. It's so hard to tell what's brown and what's grey and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Rachel, well, Tom had this one from Smiggle and I think I broke it. But it's the hand crank sharpener. It's kind of like the Dial 133 one. But they are good and it did seem to work when I was using it, but then I think I broke it. What was I going to use? Oh gosh, it's so hard trying to tell. I think I need a lighter grey actually, because I've just spotted some lighter areas. Right, so yeah, I've just spotted a few lighter areas which I think I'll just put in. I'm not sure if any of you have seen, but April Sarah, who has a YouTube channel, she does book stuff as well, but she has been doing loads and loads of parts of this Thomas Kinkade colouring that she's been doing, and I believe it's a tangled one, and it's absolutely stunning. And she does regular streams and does the colouring for it and focuses on one element each time, and oh, it's absolutely amazing. I'd really recommend checking her out because she tries to colour it realistically. She does an amazing job. I might leave the black actually and just shade with this cool grey because it seems to be working quite well. So the whole thing with me trying to black out the lines is just so that there's no black between all of these elements, because I don't want there to be the black in between, say, the flower and in the background. I want it to all just merge together. And it definitely does slow down the process a lot, but I think it's worth it. See, that's a good idea, Anne. I've wanted to try the M&R sharpener as well, and I know you can replace the blade. Yeah, Rachel, I think that I have got something stuck in it, but I did take it apart, which I think did probably make it worse, and it just isn't working for me. Hi, Pickwick. Michelle, it's April Sarah. So if you just search that on YouTube, it should come up. I can put a link in if you'd like. But yeah, she does book videos as well. No worries, Patrice. Have a lovely rest of your evening or your day. Oh, thank you. It's got to be 17. Yeah, I was just trying to, I mean, I wouldn't usually black out lines in other colouring books because I think for that style of colouring that I do, it works having the lines in. It's only for this where I'm trying to replicate the mirrored lines, realistic look, that I feel like it needs to have the lines taken out. This probably looks quite odd at the moment, but I'm just trying to follow the odd shapes that are on this page. I think I'm going to have to layer up with this because I don't really know what else. Michelle, do you know what the difference is between all of the dial sharpeners? Because everyone talks about the dial 133, but I honestly don't know what the difference is. And I was looking on Amazon, I think the 133 is about £10, which, I mean, for sharpener, I know some would say that's quite expensive, but if it lasts for as long as it's supposed to, it's not actually that bad. Because I honestly don't know whether it's just something to do with the colour or the types of pencil you're meant to use with them. No idea. Thank you, Pickwick. Oh yes, Rachel, I saw that. Do you know what? That's what inspired me to come back to this page, because I saw her do her painting. Oh, that was absolutely amazing. Yes, I'd really recommend that as well, those of you watching. Oh my gosh. And the way she transferred her, well, the drawing to the wood that she was painting on was really interesting as well. I think she was doing the Pinocchio page, if I'm not mistaken. Probably not going to be able to find it now. Ah, here. But it just looked absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, she did part of this page. Oh, I'm glad I could enable you. That's what us this colouring community is here for. Does it, Michelle? Oh, okay. I mean, that doesn't bother me too much, but I know for some people it would. I mean, you're going to end up using the pencil anyway, so it's not like you'd really be ruining it that much. Right, this is coming along. I think this is going to take a little bit more layering than usual, because I'm kind of experimenting with it and I don't really know what look I'm going for. Oh, okay, thanks, Anne. Thank you, Pickwick. That's interesting. I wonder whether the sharpening hole is a different size, because, well, even when Pamela from Pamela's Passion for Pencils was showing it, she still managed to fit square pencils in the sharpener, like the Brute Funa pencils. So yeah, maybe it's something to do with that. Right, I'm just trying to put a little bit more of this blue in. And then I think I'll just go darker. Yes, thank you, Cassia. I did see that in Pamela's video. I thought that was amazing. Right, so I think if I try to go over this Pit Pen line anymore, it's going to start resisting. So I'm going to try and leave that alone now and just focus on this section. And I think I'm pretty much there with it. I'm one of those people though that just goes back to it and starts fiddling around even more. So I say I'm done, but I'm still working on it now. But it does need to be a little bit darker. Gosh, I can't believe how long this tiny section has taken. Very relaxing actually though, doing this on stream. Right, I'm going to give this a blend with the lighter pencil and then a blend with the blender pencil and see if it will need any more work. I don't know, Pickwick. I'm really not sure. That's why I was asking, because I didn't know what the difference was between them. Yes, Rachel, I'm with you there. I think their work is amazing, and I don't think, I mean, it's strange because they don't know our community in the sense that there's a whole colouring world out there. And yes, they do art, but it's just so amazing, and it would be fantastic. Their work is stunning. Right, I'm going to add some this Celadon green in, and yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I don't want to make it too dark, but I think for now I'm pretty happy with how that's turning out. I can always go back in. I'm going to focus on, well, I say focus on it, but I'm going to work on this bit down here. Oh yeah, and seen those. Right, I'm going to try and put a bit more blue in, green I guess actually, because this is a more green part because of the leaves. It's amazing how these are blended in with each other. The tricky thing again with this section is there is no leaf here, but there should be, because there is green here. So I'm not really sure. Yes, Pickwick, I am. I'm using Prismacolor. I thought I would need to add some Holbein in, but I haven't. I've just stuck to the Prismacolors. Hi, Danielle. Lovely to have you here. Thank you. So yeah, pretty much I'm just going to go about it exactly the same, except that this will probably not need as much layering because it's all a bit more straightforward with being able to see the leaf. I'm really pleased that I've managed to motivate myself to come back to this, because it was on my mind that I hadn't come back to it, and I thought it was going to be a forever whip. But I can see the light now. I would like to try and get this done by the end of 2020. 2021. That would be fantastic. I could do, yeah, I'll probably need to for some of the stonework up here, because there are some wonderful colours like khaki and other colours like that, which I had used on these bits that I've already done. So I'll definitely use them in that, but I'm not going to really be able to stream much for the next while because of my exams. But I could always come back and colour more of this picture if you'd like. I mean, this could be the picture that I work on during streams, and then I can add other colours and things in, but it's completely up to you. I mean, I did my impromptu live stream yesterday, and I really just, sometimes, you know, I just do what I feel like. But this could be the picture that I work on during streams. It's completely up to you. They are amazing, Michelle, aren't they? I've been waiting for them to, well, the colours that I specifically need to get, the colours on Jackson's art, because I need to get some replacements and they haven't come back in stock yet. And since January I've been waiting and they keep postponing it, so I'm not sure, unfortunately, when I'm going to be able to get the replacement colours. I'll just have to hold off using them for a bit. I have some firm favourites from the sets. I love them. Yeah, so this is very difficult, this bit, because I'm trying to create my own shapes with the pencil, because there are some odd shadows that have been created. Thank you so much, Pickwick and Kat. Thank you. Well, as I said, they're not for a bit, and I'm just really grateful that I still have time to be able to make videos. So, I mean, you probably didn't notice that much, but I was having exams, what, it would have been about 3-4 weeks ago now. No, maybe 2 or 3 actually. And I tried to make videos a little bit in advance and put them up so that I didn't really have to worry about it. But this time around, they're only a week long, so they're quite full on and jam-packed, but it just means that instead of having them over a 3-week period or something like that, they're a lot more close together. Right, again, I think I'm almost there with this section. I haven't added any of the French greys or warm greys in this because there isn't really much. So I've kind of left them out. And to 166, Jamie. Oh my goodness. Oh, the green Holbeins. The greens are my favourites, Michelle, in the Holbein set. They're amazing. The range is phenomenal. I love all the mossy colours. Have you tried buying from the colour pencil shop, Michelle, for the Prismacolor? I agree, Pickwick, yes. I think usually our GCSEs would have been over 3 or 4 weeks, and yeah, I much preferred how they were doing it for our mocks. So I did have 2 or 3 exams a day, but it meant I could just cram it all. I think it was 8 days, 8 or 9 days. But I had a weekend in between, and yeah, it was really my favourite way rather than just having them all spread out, because it just prolongs it. And the teachers were very good to us when we had actual lessons instead of exams. They would let us revise for other subjects in the lessons, so that, you know, if we had an exam 5th and 6th period, but we had, say we had a maths exam 5th and 6th period, but we had English 3rd and 4th, they would let you revise for maths in an English lesson, which I really appreciate, because then you're not trying to remember other information whilst also then learning something else. Okay, Michelle. Yeah, that's really the only place that I get them from, so I can't really help you there. Oh, thanks for that, Emma. I'm not sure that I know of him, although are you in the US? Because shipping for other people might not be very cheap. I'm just going to add a bit more up here now that I've done the bottom. So I think it just needs to be a little bit darker. I don't want to make it so dark that you can barely make out the shapes that I put in, but we'd like to try and make it a little bit darker. Oh, that's brilliant, Emma. I'll have to try that out. Let me write that down. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Oh, Pickwick. Yeah. Thank you, Emma. Okay, that's really reassuring. I'll have to check that out. I mean, I love Emma at the Colour Pencil Shop, but sometimes there are pencils that aren't in. See, that's totally understandable. She's having to get the pencils in from other people to be able to then sell to us. And yeah, sometimes not all of the colours are in, which is totally understandable, as I said. So yeah, that's a really good alternative to be able to go to. Right, sorry about this. I'm just going to have to tilt the book. I didn't bother to white out the stalk here because it was so dark you could barely see it. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be going over with darker colours anyway, there's no point. There's no point whiting it out. This bit's really dark. I'm probably just going to almost burnish it. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for following me on Instagram, by the way. Really appreciate it. I haven't been posting much lately on there. I'm really bad at putting pictures up when I've finished them. YouTube's definitely the main social, well, I guess it's not really social media, but it's the main platform that I use. Instagram's just a fun way of connecting with other people for me, and I just post when I can. Right, yeah, I'm not sure I'm really going to be able to get that much more on this because it's so deep on the picture. I can barely tell what's what. Okay. I'm just trying to deepen this up as much as possible because it's a really dark area of this picture. Gets a bit lighter as we go along, but yeah, that's pretty much done. I'm just rubbing my pencil sharpener off so that I'm not ruining any other bits. Right, this next bit is part leaf, but it's kind of odd because it looks like there's a little bit of pink as well. So I'm just going to put the pink down. Right, again, I think this is going to be quite a dark area. Just trying to be careful where I've put the line where my ruler is because I don't want to go over it. I think what I'll do is I'll colour this flower next, if I can. I'm going to be on for about another 15 minutes or so. Hope that's all right. An hour and a half is kind of my go-to streaming time. 2 hours I can do sometimes, but yeah, I'm just going to do an hour and a half for tonight. I hope that's all right with everyone. It's lovely having you all here. As I've said, I really enjoy streaming. It's so fun and different from videos. Right, so again, I think I'm just going to have to pretty much burnish this. I don't really burnish that much though, but I'm just going to layer that up. I think it needs to be a little bit darker. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, it is. I mean, if I am watching a stream, it is really nice to just colour along. Yeah, it is, Emma. I really enjoy it. I'm hoping this will all upload all right and there won't be any issues with it. Yesterday it seemed to be fine. But yeah, it's unusual that I would be able to stream 2 days in a row, so you can definitely tell that I am on holiday, that's for sure. My usual stream time used to be a Sunday night, and I think it still is on a stream schedule, but unfortunately that's had to take a back seat whilst I'm busy with school, so I tend to prioritise videos. Right, I'm just going to do this odd bit here in between these flowers, and the reason why it's odd is that there is a little bit of purple, which I think is meant to be part of a petal. That's weird, really weird. No worries, Anne. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad I could help, Kat. Take care, Anne. Bye. Oh. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this. I think I'll put some purple in, but I'm not really sure why like what it's meant to represent really, but I'll put it in anyway. And then, as I said, I can always, I'll probably end up just going over it anyway, because there needs to be some form of shadow. So yeah, again, this bit's quite dark as well. A lot of it is. But yeah, maybe if I do another stream colouring from this book, it will be a little more exciting in terms of using more colours, because I think I should be able to, I mean, if I do a little bit more, I can then, yeah, maybe do some of the other bits. Hi, Candy. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. And I did put a bit of purple in, but it doesn't really make a difference. Right, I'm going to do this flower here, and then I think we'll call it a stream, because I think this is probably going to take a little bit of time. Let me just swap out the pencils, because we probably won't be needing these blue and grey ones anymore. And then we've got a nice section done. I mean, we really haven't done that much, but it all will hopefully work out in the end. I don't know about anyone else though, but I've really been enjoying Kat's videos. They're amazing. Thank you, Candy. Okay. I'll do the centre first. This one's a little bit different because, as I said when I was picking out colours at the beginning, there's more pink in this one. So yeah, a few more extra bits. And I think, again, I'll go back in here. Oh, and this one actually. Hang on. I'm go back in and just add the Posca, because there are quite a few pointillism bits kind of with this. Right, gosh, there is quite a lot of black on this one. Again, this flower doesn't go right to the bottom on the image. The whole thing is shown, so it just means that I'm going to have to be a little bit careful with keeping a straight line. Well, this has been good. No issues with internet, touch wood. It's reassuring, actually. So it was a bit all over the place yesterday. Right, so that's the black. This one's probably the most difficult of the flowers that I've done so far, because there's quite a few little bits of different colours. Okay, again, it's been really interesting trying to add in different colours that I wouldn't normally use, and it's good because it's given me a chance to use the more less used colours in my set. There are so many, Candy. It really is amazing. It's grown so much, the colouring community. I mean, even when thinking about it, I was quite late to the whole YouTube thing, because I started in 2019, but lots of channels had already started back in 2017. But I just love it when new channels pop up now as well. I think especially with the pandemic and having more time, it's been great to have the opportunity to find new people. Right, this one is very difficult. Yeah, there's a lot of pink in this one. So this magenta colour. Sometimes I find when there's big areas of colour, it's easier to just do a light layer of whatever it is and then go back in and blend. Because most of this was actually this lighter colour, and it's quite detailed. Right, I think I will use my Posca again after I've blended this. Yeah, Michelle. Yes, well, I'm trying to, Kathy. Hi, Lou. I'm only going to be on for another 10 minutes or so, but I really appreciate you joining. Yeah, I'm trying to follow the left-hand side, Kathy. What actually made it a little bit more difficult was because there's the Thomas Kinkade emblem there, logo. Yeah, it's kind of tricky to work out what actually it was looking like. Yeah, Zucchini Kitty is amazing, Candy. Yeah, I agree with you, Michelle. I think, especially for sorry, I can't speak. In terms of YouTube people and people creating channels, the pandemic has been a prime time for that, and that's so amazing because we have all had that extra time to be able to watch people, and I think it did give people the confidence to start making colouring channels, which is just so amazing. And you do just learn so much from other people and seeing their different styles as well. Right, so yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Again, I think I'm just going to go over with the Poscas. Oh, this pink might need a little bit of starting. The thing with this though is that this area which I'm trying to replicate is quite patchy because it looks like, well, just a bit of oil paint, I guess. So it's kind of tricky trying to recreate it. And I think I will put more in the center. And more black. Okay, I think I'm happy with that as it is at the moment. We'll see. I'm not sure if I will go in and tweak it anymore. What I'll do is just outline this last bit of the stone to have it all prepared for when I next choose to colour it. Thanks, Kathy. Oh, Rachel, well, when I first started, I think I probably filmed my first ever video at least 5 times just to get a feel for what it was like talking in front of the camera, which was odd, and I did get used to it. I mean, I don't think I properly felt absolutely confident doing it until probably about a year in, honestly. And especially since I've started filming on my phone, and I feel that the quality is better than what it was when I used to film on our video camera. Kind of gave me more confidence as well. But it is a scary experience. I mean, you're putting yourself out there, and I think our community is wonderful. Oh, Michelle, you should go for it. They're amazing. I don't use them enough. I really should. Lou, it's really intimidating. I started this picture back in June, and it has taken me since at least August to finally come back to this. So you're not alone. Really has been one of those that I've just put away, and I've looked at and I thought, oh, I really want to go back to that, and then I never did. Yes, thank you, Kat. Yeah, Pickwick, it's the white Pit Pen. I'm going to have to stop there though, but that's pretty much how I would leave it now. Maybe another layer. But you can do it really roughly. So yeah, that's where I've got to tonight. I mean, really, it wasn't that much. We got a few flowers done and a bit of background, but that's the pace that it has to go at, unfortunately, with this sort of colouring. But thank you all so much for joining. I've had so much fun again, and yeah, it really has given me the motivation to try and continue with this page now. really enjoyed coming back to it. I've just noticed something. I want to go back in and add more red. But yeah, it really has been fun, and I really appreciate you all joining. As I say, just thank you so much. Thanks, Minerva. Thank you, Michelle. I hope to stream again when I can. I've got 6 weeks. 6 weeks of school, so the likelihood of me streaming then is unlikely. But videos will hopefully be regular if I can have them regularly. That'd be good. But yeah, I'll just stream as soon as I can. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Lou. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Sue. Kathy, Michelle, Pickwick, Emma. Yes, good luck, Kat. I saw on your stories. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful evening or night, or well, that's the same thing, or your day, wherever you are. And I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.